Then you gotta remember too. Right now we're like posing, right? We come out and we go, oh, look at that, it looks beautiful. You know what I mean? And it does. If you got a nice guard, oh, it looks so nice. But you gotta kind of remember when you get down, you know, you're gonna get some commands. On guard, ready. The director doesn't hear anybody say no. The next word he's gonna say is fence. And that means you're going to have some guy with a 35-inch piece of steel going to try to stick it right through your body cavity. You know what I mean? So you better be ready. So when you get down and you're down here, and when you get down into this position, you're ready to fight somebody. I mean, that's the fighting sport. I mean, you got to, that's what it's all about. One-on-one, right? But in a controlled way. You know what I mean? Okay? So, you've got a nice guard. So you go out and you go to a competition tomorrow and you say, the director says, on guard, you get down and he says, ready, fence. And you go, well, that's all I learned. I only know the guard position. I'm sorry. That's all I can do. They go, okay. So you come back the next week and you say, oh, so here's what we're going to work on a little bit, right? You need to know how to move around on the strip. Because if you're going to just stand there, you might as well paint a big target on yourself. That's all you're going to be, is just a big target, right? You got to move around because someone's going to be trying to hit you all the time, right? So modern fencing dictates that it all comes from the legs now. You know what I mean? When they talk about classical fencing, then they would get so close they'd stand toe to toe. They'd be this close. And they'd go tickety, 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 and then they'd some guy would try to get them. Okay. That's all they moved. They didn't move. You know, and then all of a sudden, the influx of a lot of Eastern European fencers in like the late 50s and everything, they started to train a lot of their athletes to become fencers. And now they got very aggressive with their feet and they started really dominating the distance and everything with their legs. That's what the sport's all about now. So that's the way, you know, you can take command over your opponent with your legs. Okay? So we need to know how to move. So if I'm in my guard position and I need to move forward, the first thing I can do, the simple footwork technique that we can practice is called an advance. You start with your left foot. You're going to take a step forward. When you finish, your back foot comes underneath you, and then you take a step. The distance is the same that I started, right? I didn't take a step and end up like this. I was in my guard, I took a step, I ended up right back to where I was. Okay? Some of the things to watch out for. The hopping fencer. They think with the tornado clubs they have to be rascals, like to hop around. You don't have to hop. You know, the hula fence. You don't really have to move your hips around too much, you know what I mean? The guy who's got the ball and chain on his leg, he moves like this. You can't let his leg off here. It's really heavy, you know what I mean? So, all it is a step, you know what I mean? When you hear, I mean, it sounds simple because I've done it so many times, right? But hey, when you take a step, you just, even if I had my hands on my hips, it wouldn't matter. I just take a step, and then right here. Now when I want to go backwards, of course, I move the back foot first. If you move your front foot first like this and move, you don't go anywhere. I don't go anywhere, and then I move, and it's too late. So I step back this way. So an advance looks like this, and a retreat looks like this. All right, let's practice this, all right? So let's start from our basic position here. Let's go there first, right? From there, we'll start, we'll go on guard. There you go. Foot goes out in your guard position. There you go. Knees get bent. Everything's in a straight line when you're in your guard position. Eyes, nose, knees, toes. All pointed at your opponent. If they're not, then your point's not going to go where you want it to. Okay? So here we go. One advance. Go ahead. Advance. One step down. And retreat. Foot first, right? And advance. And retreat. Good. And advance. Nice and smooth. Right. And retreat. There you go. And advance. So it's all balanced now, right? I mean, it's like dancing. And retreat. Good. And advance. And retreat. Now we can change it just a little bit, right? We always don't have to have the same distance when we move, because if you move the same distance all the time, I'm going to know that, and it's going to be easy for me to pick that out and use it against you. So now we're not going to do the same distance. We're going to make a small advance, or a small retreat, or maybe a large advance. I mean, they can always be different sizes, right? So let's try that. So you're in your guard position, right? You're pointing your toes. So let's make a small advance. And a small retreat. And a large advance. Whoa, good. And a large retreat. How about this one? Small advance, large retreat. Large advance, small retreat. There you go. Now you're mixing it up a little bit in there, right? And I can't tell where you're going to be instantly. Or we can also change the tempo. We can make slow advance. Or a slow retreat. Usually you don't want to retreat slow. We do that when we practice, but if someone's attacking you, it's best to get out of the way as quick as possible. You know what I mean? Unless you're kind of like flying into the trap or something. Moving slow forward, and the good thing, gives me an opportunity to think a little bit about what's going on. If I move too fast, I go, whoop. Well, if I don't have something planned, then I know of what I'm going to do. I don't want to move too fast, right? I want to see what you're going to do. So I start to move slow, and I'm watching all the time to see what's developing. Okay, here we go, on guard. So now I'm going to mix it up for you, right? I'll say advance, regular one, right? And retreat. So that means hit your own distance. And advance, good. And retreat, small advance, small retreat, large advance, large retreat, slow advance, slow retreat. Here we go. Fast advance, fast retreat.